is Valley News Live at 4.
New for you now at 4, an emotional day in court as a Barnesville foster mom is sentenced for killing a toddler. Family members of the woman expressed deep heartache, calling Kelly Jo Anderson a monster and saying she should never be able to hold a child again. The 36-year-old is sentenced to spend the next 35 years in prison. She was convicted of second-degree murder in the death of 18-month-old Henry, who had been in her care since April 2019. Court documents say Henry was brought to the Sanford emergency room blue and lifeless with bruising to his head and face last April. Anderson apologized in court today, saying the biggest disappointment in her life is hurting someone she loved. Local school districts are getting closer to finalizing their plans for the 2021-2022 school year, with some districts asking for feedback from parents before making those plans official. Valley News Team's Bailey Hurley joins us live now in the studio and breaks down what students and teachers in each district might be able to expect. Bailey?
Stacey, so far what's outlined looks much different from last school year, as the draft plans for both Fargo and Moorhead Public Schools state mask wearing will be optional. However, as of right now, Moorhead students will still have to mask up when riding the bus or any other type of shuttle. Now, West Fargo Public Schools won't have a draft plan available until later next month, but currently masks are no longer required for the district. Both Moorhead and Fargo's plans state social distancing will continue to be encouraged, and while both districts state they will continue to work with the health departments to contract trace and communicate potential exposures of COVID-19, as of this month, West Fargo Public Schools says they have stopped contact tracing. However, West Fargo does say the district will provide exposure notifications if there is a positive case in their child's classroom. Now, posted on their website, West Fargo Schools says exit survey showed nearly 80% of people do not want the district to reinstate last year's school plan, and instead should wait to make any decisions until after the outcome of the June health and safety protocols to see if those precautions should be continued or dropped entirely for the upcoming school year. Stacey.
Thanks so much, Bailey. The Moorhead Public School Board will review their draft of the Return to Learn plan at the Monday, June 21st meeting. Fargo Public Schools say they will review their plan on June 30th. Locals are hosting an event tomorrow to celebrate our nation's newest holiday, Juneteenth. The introduction of the new federal holiday to commemorate the end of slavery in the U.S. has led to various responses, leaving some government offices, schools, and businesses open, while others closed today to observe the holiday. City leaders and Fargo police representatives will join local rappers and activists at Lindenwood Park tomorrow, showing their support. They say the goal is to show the importance of people from different backgrounds.
It's important for them to come out and celebrate Black greatness, just celebrate Black people moving forward, even though through adversities and trials and tribulations, what it looked like we wasn't gonna make it. Here we are, still not only surviving but thriving.
That event is free and runs tomorrow from noon until 7. If you're heading out to the park tomorrow, it's looking like the weather will cooperate. Let's head over to meteorologist Nathan Hopper with a first look.
Yeah, Stacey, this weekend, Saturday, things were looking good for the weekend, so we'll get that out of the way now. Sunday, though, not looking as good. We'll talk about that, though, in a few minutes. Here's right now our Luther Family Ford Sky Cam showing some clouds there across the metro. Do have the chance of a few spotty showers, maybe a few rumbles of thunder here or there as we continue through the rest of this Friday evening. It's also a bit on the windy side. Take a look at some of these winds, mostly out of the northwest for everybody on this Friday, so we'll see if that can load up for me. Let's see if that does load up. Actually, I'm going to double check and make sure that's working properly. Let me pull up the wind gusts here. There we go. That's what we should be looking at once that loads. There it is, out of the northwest for everybody in the Devil's Lake Basin. And look at that, it's 20 miles per hour out of the Devil's Lake Basin. So it's definitely windy there. That's bringing in some cooler air. That is the cold front we're watching, and we're watching for some of those showers and storms to fire off along that cold front. Still seeing a strong west wind, though, in areas like Fargo. Oaks seeing that gust of 31 miles per hour out of the west, so still windy out there, but of course we're still watching radar as well. So there are a few spotty rain showers there, mainly in the Thief River Falls area and areas like Red Lake and Pennington County, and some up toward Cavalier and Pembina counties. Also seeing some showers there in the Devil's Lake Basin. Closer in there, you can see maybe some heavier rainfall just south of Thief River Falls at this time. Again, right along that cold front. Not expecting too much in the way of organized showers and storms this evening, but a few splash and dash showers cannot be ruled out along this cold front. But Stacey, lower 70s up toward the north, 90 in Sisseton, 92 Aberdeen. Definitely seeing the differences in temperatures at this hour, but of course we'll break down that weekend forecast in a few minutes.
All right, thanks so much, Nathan. It's no secret that it's abnormally dry in our area. The Wadena County Sheriff's Office put out a warning today about extremely dangerous fire conditions. A burn ban is in effect for many Minnesota counties, including the Wadena area. The only exception is a campfire in an approved ring in an established campground, resort, or in your yard. You can be held liable, though, for all costs to fight a fire that starts because of careless burning. A man convicted of luring minors and possessing child porn is now living in North Fargo. Fargo police say Cody Harmon is a registered sex offender now living at 734 College Street North. He's 41 years old, about 5'4" and 200 pounds. His charges stem from a 2011 conviction in Richland County, North Dakota. Conservatives and advocates of legal marijuana have formed an unlikely alliance in Minnesota to pressure lawmakers to allow medical marijuana patients to own guns. As the law now stands, the more than 35,000 patients in Minnesota's program can't own a firearm because the government classifies marijuana as a Schedule I substance. Gun rights supporters and pro-legalization groups are lobbying for Minnesota to petition for an exemption. This story has a lot of people talking on social media. Let us know what you think. To join the conversation, just search Valley News Live on Facebook. Border restrictions for non-essential travel between the U.S. and Canada have been extended until July 21st as Canada works to get a higher percentage of people fully vaccinated. Public Safety Minister Bill Blair says there are growing calls in the U.S. to open the border, but less than 20% of Canadians are fully vaccinated. The restrictions were announced in March 2020 and have been extended every month since. The Canadian government expects to have enough vaccine delivered for 80% of eligible Canadians to be fully vaccinated by the end of July. Louisiana is set to become the first Democrat-led state to end enhanced federal unemployment benefits early, joining 25 Republican-led states that have already announced they're opting out. 8 of those states are ending benefits tomorrow. Skylar Henry reports from Washington, D.C.
Hundreds of thousands of Americans are set to lose their $300 enhanced federal unemployment benefit Saturday, as 8 states opt out of the program that was created in response to the pandemic.
We had always looked at the 1st of August, and so the 31st of July is not a bad compromise.
Governor John Bel Edwards announced this week Louisiana will become the first Democrat-led state to join 25 Republican-led states in ending benefits before they're set to run out in September. In exchange, Louisiana will increase its weekly unemployment benefit by $28 to a maximum of $275 a week.
Is this a good thing?
It is. From an employer perspective, almost everywhere in Louisiana, there's way more jobs than there are folks seeking jobs right now.
Business leaders in Louisiana and nationwide say the enhanced unemployment benefits contributed to keeping potential workers at home.
We need every motivation to supercharge employment right now.
California is also trying to supercharge employment. The state said Thursday it'll join other states that have stopped giving benefits to people who are not actively applying for jobs. It comes as the governor lifted most coronavirus restrictions on businesses.
When we talk about California roaring back, you can't come roaring back unless small businesses are fully back.
California still has one of the highest unemployment rates in the country. Skylar Henry, CBS News, Washington.
According to the U.S. Labor Department, around 2 million people in California are still receiving unemployment benefits. The country has hit another milestone in the vaccination effort against COVID-19, 300 million shots in 150 days. President Biden made the announcement during a press conference at the White House today.
We got here because of the American people stepping up and getting vaccinated, helping family, friends, neighbors get vaccinated.
While hospitalizations and deaths across the nation are going down, President Biden says some states that have lower vaccination rates are actually seeing an increase in cases. The tanker truck driver who drove into the middle of a George Floyd protest on the I-35W bridge in Minneapolis may have his charges dropped. That's if he meets the conditions of a restorative justice program. Bogdan Vichirko faces a felony charge of threats of violence and a gross misdemeanor charge of criminal vehicular operation. On May 31st of last year, police say he failed to stop for a crowd protesting the death of George Floyd, saying he was in a hurry and he hoped the crowd would move. There were no serious injuries, but at least one person suffered scrapes to their legs. Will fans be allowed at the Olympics? That's a hot topic today in Tokyo. We'll break down the experts' opinion and the pushback coming up.
Here's how things look in Fargo for your Friday evening. Temperatures cooling off quickly thanks to those north winds, down around 60 by the midnight hour. Cool night in store for us in Fargo. Same story for Grand Forks. Those strong north winds bringing in that cooler air, 56 there by the midnight hour. Of course, we'll break down what you can expect for your weekend, including the chance of some rain next.